created me? Why was I created? What is my purpose? And if that is the purpose, how do I achieve that goal? And what are some of the obstacles on the way to achieving that goal? These are the 5 questions. But Vedanta is very abstract. You have to be prepared to leave all thoughts about your body and go into your soul and talk only about the soul, because that is the quintessence of who you are. Now, I'm going to now replace the word, because I use the word soul because you are familiar with that word, but I'm going to use the Hindu name for it, which is called Atma. So let's try to understand what this Atma is. Can I have one volunteer? Any one of you? Come on forward. I'm going to ask you some questions to which you're going to respond. If you have a cell phone, just bring a cell phone too. Okay. What is that in your hand?
A cell phone.
Whose cell phone is it?
Mine.
Your cell phone, right? So we can say my cell phone.
Yes.
Okay. Can you raise it? Raise your hand and show the cell phone to everybody. Okay. What is holding the phone?
My right hand.
Your hand. So you associate the phone with you. Are you the phone?
No.
The phone is different. You are different.
Yes.
Then you said my right hand.
Yes.
The same analogy, you are different, your right hand is different.
Yes.
Can you nod your head?
Yes.
Okay. So whose head did you nod?
Mine.
Your. Are you the head?
No.
So you are different, the head is different.
Yes.
So, thank you. You can go. So, what is common behind all these things, if you see, she said, my phone, my hand, my head. And if you go deeper down into this, you will say, my mind, my brain, so the my is common across all this, which basically means there is somebody called an I within you, which is claiming ownership of your hand, head, and all these bodily parts. Can you see that I? You cannot, because it's intrinsic to each one of us, right? Now let's process. I asked her to raise her hand. Let's process this just a little bit to see how did that action happen. She heard me say, raise your hand, right? It went through her ears, through her sensory nerves and things like that. It went to a portal called the mind. The mind transferred that to Atma. Atma responds back saying, there's nothing wrong in raising your hand, go ahead and do it. Okay? And then Atma conveys that to the mind. Mind sends it back through the sensory nerves, back to her, brain or wherever that control is, and then she decided to raise the hand. The Atma essentially is the decision maker in all of us. So now let's ask this question. If the Atma is the decision maker in each of us, and we cannot see the Atma, let me ask this question. This desk, what is this made of? Wood. Great. So when we define an object called Atma, Your next question is, what is it made of? It's made of intelligence. Like wood, the material the Atma is made of is intelligence. Okay. Wood is not intelligent. But is this object called Atma made of intelligence? Is it intelligent? Does it have intelligence? Yes, it does. Because that's the decision maker. Okay. Now, this is what Vedanta tells, that you are Atma, which is made of intelligence, which is made of, it uses different words. I don't have the right translation. A rough translation of what the Vedanta says is that it's equal to knowledge. But knowledge is a very confusing term, because then it goes into memory and so on and so forth. So let's not go there. Basically, let's understand that Atma is made of intelligence, and it is intelligent also. And it makes the decision. So now you cannot see it, not yet, but are there people who have seen it? Because we don't want to believe anything that we don't see, right? We've got a perfectly, very 30,000 feet view of what is Atma, but can you see it? Yes, it is possible to see it. But that's through very deep meditation and following a process called Ashtanga Yoga. The Ashtanga Yoga requires, extreme levels of control of mind, habits, food habits, not getting tempted by anything. And, finally it inner senses and outer senses. Outer senses are all the eyes, ears, and things like that, which convey it to the inner senses, which then take it to the mind, etc., right? So mind control, sense control, all of that, if you practice over the years, when your mind completely calms down and is not seeking anything from the outside, when you have forgotten that you are this body, then it's possible. So in some of the stories of the ancient Indian rishis, it is told they do such level of meditation that they get completely surrounded by anthills. Okay? Their body is partially even eaten up by these ants. They don't care. They don't care for the body, because they know essentially, I am this Atma, which I cannot see, and I am trying to see it. They don't care for the body. Okay, so achieving that level is very, very difficult, but it's possible. And those who have seen it, have they communicated it? All they come back and say is, it's so beautiful, it's indescribable. That's all we have. So however much they try to explain it, we will not understand. It is like, Krishna and the group, they went eating mangoes. If I told you Indian mango is very sweet, are you going to understand it? Unless you taste it, you will not have an understanding of what the sweetness is. Right? It's like that. So this is Atma, essentially. Let's move on to the next question. Why was I created? Or who created me first? Who created me? General answer that we know, God created. Now again, I will refrain from using the common word that all of us know, which is God, and take you to the Hindu word. We'll call him Bhagwan. Bhagwan is a kind of common terminology. A lot of people think Hinduism has many gods. No, it's not. It has only one God. You can't even see the Atma. Can you see the God? Hinduism says, yes, it's possible to see him. But again, you have to go through that rigorous process before he will show himself to you. Even if you go through that process, he chooses who he will reveal himself to. So he is like the if we are intelligence, he is the super intelligence who knows everything. There are two very important qualities of him. Very important qualities of him. He is negative of negativity. There is no negativity in him. He is the epitome of positivity. There is no negativity is one quality. Epitome of positivity is another quality. He is not angry or jealous or anything like, because those are negative emotions, right? He doesn't have any of those. So let's take an example here. Let's say there is an atheist who doesn't believe in God. God knows. He doesn't have any anger towards that person. He only feels pity. He's like, okay, I am everywhere, so it's a pity that you're not able to acknowledge that. As per the Vedanta school that I belong to, we define that God exists in 5 forms. 5 forms. First is where he is in his kingdom. He has a huge form out there that people are enjoying, his presence. They are even, playing with him or spending time happily with him. So that is his presence in his kingdom. Then he has created many universes. We are in one universe. There are many universes. So we subscribe to the multiverse theory. Now, in the many universes, there are so many people that are living. We are that individual intelligence. Now, there are people who have higher capabilities than us. Unfortunately, the British colonizers of India, they translated these people with higher capabilities as gods. But they are essentially people living on other planets having higher capabilities than us. Somebody talked about teleportation. These people are capable of teleportation. They are capable of coming to Earth and talking to us, but they don't want to because they consider Earth as a swamp. Because they are higher people, right? They don't want to come down and interact with us. But can we see them? Yes, it's possible to see them. Again, we have to go through a rigorous process. So we have Homa and Yajna and things like that, basically fire-based rituals, where we have mantras that we can chant to bring them down. And it is said they show themselves in the flames. And I have been part of such yajnas where we videograph the flame throughout the process. Some of these take 2 hours, 4 hours, things like that. We record that and we try to see who all came. Which of these so-called gods came in that fire. So it's possible. But awareness is very low. People who can conduct these yajnas are very few. And anything that people in those days wanted to achieve, they achieved through performing a yajna. For example, there is a yajna to defeat an enemy. There is a yajna to beget a child. Ram, Lakshman, Bharat, Shatrughan, the 4 brothers, were born out of a yajna. So many of the mythological, or I can't call it mythological, these are history as far as I'm concerned, but it happened, so far back, people don't know. So therefore they categorize that as mythology. But these people were born of a yajna. And that yajna is called Putra Kameshti Yajna. So we talked about one form, which is the big form in his kingdom. The second form of God is, I told you, he has established universes. Then he wants to interact with these gods in these universes. And therefore he has established an outpost. So he resides there, and people go to him, and because in that kingdom even these gods cannot go there. The third form is when he takes avatar and comes down and lives amidst all of us. And there are many, many, many avatars. 10 of them are famous. But there are many, many. He has even taken birth as a tree. When you go through the stories, okay, he takes avatar. Okay, we know he comes down to be amidst us. This is the third form. The fourth form, he is within all of us. He is within everything. He is inside this, he is inside this, he is inside this. He is in the flame, he is in the candle, he is in everything which is animate and inanimate. He is within each one of us. Don't confuse that with the Atma. God is within each of us, and there is also the Atma. Two different things. And he is the super intelligence. So he can overpower this intelligence and make you make the right decision if he wants to. We sometimes hear him, but we are so overpowered with our desire to do something that we don't listen to him and take decision according to what we want. The fifth form in which he is in temples. The temples in India that we have constructed, there are temples here as well. There's one beautiful temple in Aurora. I don't know how many of you will get a chance to go there, but go look for it. I think its website is called balaji.org. Such a beautiful, we worship him in this form as he is in a temple. And a lot of people think, oh, it's just a statue. Why are you worshipping a statue? Okay, there's a lot of criticism about it. But we in Hinduism know the technique or the art of bringing him down from there to reside in that statue. The moment his power we draw from there and put it into that, it's not called a statue anymore, because it becomes a living God, a living deity. In the Indian legal system, according to the Indian legal system, a deity in a temple is to be treated like a kid, which is how a temple that was bulldozed by some of the colonizers and built another structure over on top of it. We won the case in the Supreme Court of India to say that deity was never removed from there. That deity is still living there. We won the case and rebuilt that temple after 500 years. So these are the 5 forms in which he exists. But now I'll go back to that question that the atheist is thinking there is no God. But he is sitting right within him. I'm feeling the pity for that stupid guy who thinks, hey, I'm sitting right within you and you're not acknowledging me. What a pity. He doesn't feel anger. This is about God. Now, why did he create us? Why are we here? This is his way of giving us a chance to refine ourselves and go to his kingdom. So, knowing that that is the final goal, that going to his kingdom is the final goal, you want to know what is his kingdom like, right? Is there electricity there? No, there is no electricity. But everything in that world is shining. Everything, you have natural light. You don't need artificial light from electricity. People have much higher capabilities than these small gods that I talked about, right? They can take any form they want. Okay? There is no man-woman. They take the form of a man or a woman. But each is that intelligence. So at the level of the intelligence, do you define intelligence as man or woman? There is no gender for the intelligence. That is what you are in essence. So what has happened is, the Atma is the decision maker, I said. If the decisions the Atma makes are aligned with the value system that has been defined in Hindu scriptures, then you get a positive point. If they don't align, you get a negative point. And then you go on accruing this. Positive, negative, positive. There is no bad person on earth. Everybody has done some good, some bad. As long as you align yourself with the value system, which we call as dharma, you are, on the right path. If not, you are on the wrong path. But then if you are on the right path and you have desires, I want to be this, I am doing this because I want to become this, then the positive points you are accruing is no good. Now, what really happens to all of us is, at the time of death, we have all performed some good and some bad, and we have acquired these points. The balance of these, I call them as karmic points. This is basically your karma. Okay, so translating karma, I call it them karmic points. The positive points are called punya. The negative points are called papa. Roughly translated, what we call as papa in Hinduism were translated in English as sin. But you cannot equate the sin of Christianity with the sins in Hinduism. So I will again use the word papa. Papa and punya. This combined together is your karma. What is the criteria to go to his kingdom? You have to completely exhaust the positive and the negative. The moment you have exhausted the positive and the negative, the very next instant you are transported to his kingdom. Okay? How to then get rid of these points? Well, the reality is, we have accrued so many points over life after life after life after life. We have lived so many lives. Millions and zillions of lifetimes we have all lived. And very patiently, God is giving you, let's give him one more chance. Give him one more chance. And then some people do excessive amount of negative, negative points. They accrue, terrorists and all these people, who are into scams and scandals, and they all accrue huge amount of, they amass a huge amount of wealth. That's of no use. Is intelligence going to get a better birth because of that? It's not. And then they go on saying, okay, I'm wealthy, now I'll do charity. Charity done with ill-gotten wealth is of no use. It's not even considered by God as charity. At the same time, even a single penny donated that you have earned truthfully is appreciated by Him. So, this is where we are. Karma, expend the karma, go to His kingdom. What is the primary obstacle to achieving that? One, we have huge amounts of karma. We have to know how to get rid of it. And we have to know the technique of how not to acquire more in this life, because we are going on accruing more. And the final thing is, the basic obstacle to this is we all think we are this body. And we do everything in our power to make this body more comfortable. We need a chair, we need a sofa, we need television. What are we doing with all this? Your Atma doesn't need any of that. Anyway, I will stop here. I think I'm over the time limit. I hope I have given you a glimpse of what Vedanta knowledge looks like today. Thank you.